Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Michael Alexander, and today we're going to do one of those favorite videos, well, one of my personal favorites. What is in my camera bag? So what is in my camera bag? Normally these videos consist out of me opening my camera bag and showcasing all the shit that I do keep in there. We're going to do it a little bit different. I'm actually going to do a video of what's in my camera bag that actually earns me money. Now, as you can imagine, like a lot of photographers, I have a lot of useless shit that I've bought over time. And when I mean like a lot of useless shit, I really mean a lot of useless shit. There's so many times that I watch these videos, I get really hyped up and I end up buying something that is completely unnecessary. So we're going to do something completely different. We are literally going to look at what I actually use that earns me money. So most of you know, if you follow me on Instagram and sometimes on YouTube, that I am a fitness and wedding photographer by trade. And that is how I earn my main source of income. So we're going to run through the list in no particular order, and first up is the camera body. Now, in my opinion, the camera body is the most least important thing that you can purchase. I currently use the R5 and the R. Now, I can't currently show you those cameras because the R5 is filming me from the front and the R is filming me from the side. Now, I know that sounds a bit hypocritical, saying that the camera body is the most least important thing that you can purchase. Considering that I have the R5, I mean, it's a fantastic camera. But I mainly bought it for its video capability, not its photographic capability. I was quite happy with the quality of images that I got out of the R, and to be honest, a couple of months ago we ran an experiment where one of my friends who shoots with the RP shot with the RP and I shot with the R5, and we took those images and showed it to other photographers, and about 70% of them could not tell the difference. So the camera body is not the most important piece of kit that you should be focusing on if you're trying to make money, because they are expensive. Secondly, we're going to look at lenses. Now, lenses is probably the best investment that you can make because they hold for much longer than a camera body, because glass stays glass and good glass stays good for longer. So first up, we're going to look at my favorite lens for fitness photography and wedding photography, the 70-200. The 70-200 is the staple lens for most photographers. A lot of people would say this is greatly exaggerated because, you know, that it is very expensive and you can get the same thing out of some cheaper glass. To be honest, I thought so too until I bought one of these things, and this is my most used piece of kit right here. My most used lens right here. Second, probably only to the 85, but I think I've been using this one a lot more. It's pin sharp, it's versatile, and it is probably the most utilized lens ever made in existence. I know a couple of wedding photographers that literally run this pretty much 80% on a wedding day, and I literally shoot with this thing through a whole fitness session as well. And if I'm honest, if I only had one lens, this is the one I'd carry. Next up, my other favorite lens, the 85. Now, the 85 is probably one of the best lenses out there. It is probably one of the most iconic lenses out there, or the most iconic focal length. This is the f1.2. To be honest, you can get away with the f1.8 that is on that camera right there, or probably the 1.4. In my country, that is very difficult to find. So yeah, I've got the f1.2, which is probably, you know, the most sought after, but for some reason it's the easiest to find. This lens is fantastic. It is probably, at one point in time, I told a friend that if it probably rusts on my body, I wouldn't care because this lens is just that great. It being an 85mm, often like in certain circumstances, I struggle to get proper distance away from my subject, especially when you're working in fitness, that you're trying to show off the whole body and you're trying to show off legs and you're trying to show off upper body. Sometimes this kind of gets in the way with all the gym equipment. So you just need to keep that in mind when maneuvering, because it's a prime lens, it doesn't have any zoom capabilities. If you want that image to look that certain crop in that, like you need to be that certain distance away from your subject. This is probably one of the most iconic lenses in fashion industry. 85s is very reminiscent of cinematic shots. They use it often in movies. So definitely pick yourself up an 85. Then thirdly, one of my most used lenses is the 24-70. Now again, I can't show you it because it's currently filming me on this camera. So it is extremely versatile. It's not my favorite lens. It's not the sharpest. Then again, I am using the EF Mark 1, but it's a fantastic lens. It's got a great focal range. It is very adaptable. So like I said, with the 85, you struggle to get those distances. 24-70, you can adjust with zooming in and out a little bit. It's not my most favorite lens, but every photographer should have a 24-70 in their kit. Then lastly, the 50mm. Fucking hate this lens. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, no, this is a great lens. And I agree with you. It's a great lens. F1.2, you get those looks and stuff like that. It's just everybody has one. You're trying to stand out. You're trying to make money. And, you're just going to follow suit with what everybody else does. It doesn't make you fucking special. Your mother owns one of these things. They take fucking bird photos and kid photos with it. It's not a special lens. Yes, it's fantastic plastic. It's great. It's affordable. It's cheap. It's a good lens. I use it upon occasion, but honestly, save up, buy the 85 1.8. You'll be much happier with that, in my opinion. It's just nothing special about owning one of these. Everybody uses it. Whoop-dee. All right. So now that we're done with lenses, we're going to move over to lighting. Lighting is probably my most favorite subject. It's one of the most utilized tools. It really helps you stand out and also makes your client feel a little bit more special because they've got this whole extravagant feel. I mean, currently like this looks pretty cool because looks like a professional setup. Yeah, it is. At the end of the day, all you notice is just its LEDs in fabric, but it really sells yourself as a professional. So I always recommend the Godox 8200s or the Evolve 8200s. I don't know what it's called in everybody's country. I just know them as the Godox 8200s. I've had these for years, and honestly, they work so hard for me, and I utilize them every day. The reason I love them so much is that 200 watt is a sufficient amount of power. Honestly, I would recommend having more. Something like a 400 would be fantastic. But if you're starting out, these are very affordable and they are portable, meaning I don't have to have cables around, which, is just a bonus because there's nothing worse of trying to find an outlet. These days, everything is portable anyway. I'm ranting about it, but you still see photographers from time to time. And I know it's a budget thing, but it just makes you look a little bit less professional, and we're here trying to make money. Cool. So that is the 8200s. Then next up is my favorite bad boy, the Godox 8600 PM or Evolve. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is 600 watts, or somebody will correct me, but I know it has watts when it has a number of power. I love this thing. I utilize it all the time, and it just allows me to get the light a little bit further away from the person so that I can get a better framing, because oftentimes when you have a lower power output on your lights, you have to bring them closer to close to the light, more power it has. For the 600 watt, it means I can have it a little bit further away, meaning I will have a cleaner shot, less Photoshop to do to remove light stands and stuff like that. So that is also why I recommend higher wattage. The 8600 is, I just love this thing. I do often use it with the extension cable. If you can get one, definitely buy it, because if you use the extension cable with a Gorilla clamp or super clamp, you can put it lower on a stand, meaning lower center of gravity. So that the stand won't fall over and this thing won't get damaged. The head is very small, so you can really shove it up against the ceiling. It requires less space up there, and it will have less weight other than the softbox. All right, still on lighting, we're going to talk about softboxes. Now for fitness, I often use these bad boys. These are called strip boxes. Now what's cool about them is they funnel light in a straight, narrow tube. These currently have a honeycomb grid in it. Really, really powerful stuff. But also something to keep in mind, when you put a grid in something, it does reduce the power output. So these are really great to really show off muscle detail and stuff like that. Also to create that white edge outline or that highlight outline that you see so often in fitness photos. So this is probably one of the most utilized kits in a fitness photographer's bag. I definitely recommend 2 of them, because if you have 2 of these, you can really get away with a lot until you need a 3rd light, because you can get cross lighting, get broadside or narrow side lighting. You can also you can really sculpt so many different directions. You can put it on either side, you can put both on one side, then you have a bigger softbox. It just really is such a fantastic piece of kit. And if you can at all means, get the umbrella function of it. It just, at the end of the day, when it comes to this stuff, what you take with you is the most important piece of kit that you have. And to be honest, these things, I've got the old versions where you have to take the rods out. To be honest, some days I don't want to take it with me, but I do because it earns me money. So get the umbrella version of it. It is really worth the money. Then, one moment, then I have the Octobox. Now this one is umbrella version. I'm not going to put it up, it's no point, but if you need to, you can just Google it. I'm sure there's photos and videos out there of it. But what's really cool about this thing is its size and the fact that it's umbrella. Don't get fooled by the marketing ploys with those parabolics from Godox. They aren't true parabolics, unless if you're talking about the umbrella rod ones, completely different scenario. But those pop-up like parabolic softboxes, bullshit. Buy this 85 Octo, or this current one that I'm using, a 105 high-low. It is the same fucking thing. Really don't waste money. This is probably, honestly, it's not even an Octobox shape anymore. This is how often I used it. It's kind of got an oval shape. It looks ridiculous. That is why I've now replaced it with this one here. It is definitely such a good buy. I recommend it to anybody. If you can, get a little bit of a larger size. That's also why I went with the 105, and this is an 85, just for extra spread. Because sometimes I find shadows starting thigh high, and I don't want that. So 85 Octo, definitely something to get. All right, now keeping on with the theme of lighting is a trigger. Now, a lot of people give me shit for using like the X2Ts and why I don't use the Godox X Pros. And there's a very good reason for it. Honestly, I like the X2T more than X1T because of the function that it can actually have more lights connected. The X1T, just older tech. I don't even think they make it anymore. But the reason I like the X2T more than the X Pro is it has got a hot shoe. And if you know why I like the fact that it has a hot shoe, then this next part's not going to come as a shock to you. But I can mount, for YouTube, a GoPro on top, look, or a monitor, or anything. The X Pro is just this obnoxiously large thing that allows me to read better. This thing, I can read fine. I don't need that extra screen space. It does nothing. So yeah, really like this function. Like the fact that I can put this on, or even a separate flash. I can just put something on top that I need, like a monitor when I'm jumping between video and photo, or just a GoPro when I'm trying to do behind the scenes, because right now for marketing, behind the scenes is very, very important. So X2T, definitely my recommendation for triggers. And then finally, we're going to talk about a fitness photography must have in camera bag type of thing. Not always must have, but I definitely recommend it. Just makes you look a little bit better on set when you're shooting. It just makes people think you're a bit more of a professional. Glaze. Any oil-based glaze is fine. Really is. Cooking oil, coconut oil, anything of that, any form of that is fine. This is hairspray. I'm not going to tell you the brand because it's not going to matter because it's YouTube. This is hairspray, oil-based. Works fantastic, gives you that sheen on the model's skin. Also, it just makes you look a little bit more professional. I mean, you're coming there with the actual stuff that they need to make them pop. Why not do that? You know, really is that simple. Go a little bit of the extra mile on your shoots, because anything that makes you look like you actually know what you're doing is definitely going to be beneficial to you and going to get you more bookings. So, yeah, glaze for fitness. Okay. That is about it. Also, I wanted to talk about these, but I think I'm going to do that in a later video. These are new additions to my kit, and if you do follow me on Instagram, I have used them a couple of times, and they are fantastic. So we're going to do a review video on these tube lights, which I am very excited for. But for now, that is all from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and really thank you if you're still here, because poor you listen to me, fucking bitch. So yeah, thank you guys, and don't forget to leave a comment down below if you have any questions, if you missed something, if you want me to add something, if you have something that you like in your camera bag, definitely leave it down in the comments below. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time. Cheers.